The first round of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series took place in Paihia in the beautiful Bay of Islands. Round 2, and it was the iconic Auckland Harbour crossing, which saw New Zealand's fastest open water swimmer, Cara Baker, take out the women's race.
Harbour crossing 2:12.
From there, the series moved on to Wellington, the capital, for one of the best summers on record, and it was Kane Radford who would win the men's race, while Charlotte Webby would claim her second win of the series. The Seoul South Island event was staged in Akarawa, and it marked the arrival of former open water world champion Melissa Gorman. She would comfortably take out the women's race, and with 2 events remaining, would keep in contention for the overall title. Returning to the North Island, and Mount Maunganui would hold the state sand to surf. The Kiwi contingent would have their hands full with the return of 7-time Surf Ironman champion, the great Australian Kai Hurst, looking for his second win of the summer. Melissa Gorman would go back-to-back for her second win, setting up a mouth-watering final race back in Auckland's North Shore. The State King of the Bays, with the series winner of both the men's and women's, will take home a cheque for $20,000. Absolutely beautiful day on Auckland's North Shore for race 6 of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series, the King of the Bays. The largest cash prize in all of swimming is up for grabs, and there are 4 swimmers sitting on 2 wins apiece. So it is a simple equation. Whoever's first across the line will take home the prize money. The biggest threat to the series leaders, Kane Radford and Charlotte Webby, will come from the Australians, Melissa Gorman and Kai Hurst.
To tell you the truth, extremely nervous. I saw the lineup of elites this morning, and it's certainly going to be a tough race. It's a mill pond out there. The only thing I guess that's missing are walls, so it's practically a pool. But in saying that, I love a good competition, and no doubt it's going to be a hard race.
What would 20 grand do to your swimming career?
It would help me a lot. It would actually keep me in the sport, because I guess I need the funding, otherwise I can't carry on.
Big race for you. Would you say this is the biggest race of your career, you reckon?
Yeah, I guess so, just because of the money on it, I guess, but I'm just hoping to go out there and have the perfect race and hopefully come away with the win.
A very classy competitor. Well, let's have a look at today's course for this 2.8 kilometre journey. It starts on Auckland's North Shore at Milford Reserve, and it is pretty much a straight drag down, finishing in beautiful Takapuna in front of the Takapuna Boating Club. And with the latest in conditions, here is Glenn Lama.
Well, yes, Mark, we've got the strongest fields in both the men's and the women's for the entire series today. They're all chasing this richest cash prize in the history of New Zealand swimming. Now, conditions out there today are flat, and that's going to even out the racing. It's swimming pool-like conditions out there, and the specialist open water swimmers like Kai Hurst and Kane Radford are going to have some strong competition from a couple of Olympians who are competing in the men's race in particular. Now, this is the 10th anniversary of the State King of the Bays. It's now one of the most iconic events on the Auckland sporting scene.
2004 we ran the first event. 300 people swam from Milford to Takapuna Beach, and today we've got over just about 1,600, so today's special.
Now, what about the prize money? We've got the richest cash prize, Scott, in the history of New Zealand swimming on the line today.
We wanted to attract the best field in Australasia of open water swimmers, and I think that's what we've got today on the start line.
An outstanding field indeed. Boy, what a way to celebrate the 10th anniversary. Here he is, Kai Hurst, the number 1 seed out of Australia, the man everybody will need to try and beat today. But Scott Rice, this is a quality field.
Absolutely, they're all looking pretty nervous. It's a whole lot on the line today for these swimmers. There's Melissa Gorman, and just moments away from the start, the elite start, separate from the age group start. And this is Casey Glover on the white cap, the blue cap of Stephen Kent, Charlotte Webby alongside the series leader. Just final stretches and preparation for this big race.
Kane Radford there, the series leader in the men's race, and how much pressure is on him. This should be an absolute cracker.
Josh Richardson there in the orange cap, and away they go, the short beach sprint into the water, and as Glenn Lama said earlier, not a ripple on the water.
And Scott, I think very much for the fact the tide is going out a little bit more of a wade at the start, and certainly there is going to be a run up at the beach at the end. That is going to play into the hands of the pure pool swimmers perhaps, and it's going to put just a little bit more pressure on the likes of Kane Radford and Kai Hurst. And immediately at the front of this swim, we see the Olympian Stephen Kent in the light blue cap, looking to take it out quickly through this first 300 metres before they take that hard right-hand turn.
Well, Stephen Kent, a 200-metre specialist in the pool, so this is not a surprise, him taking it out very quickly. But Radford, this is interesting, takes a slightly different line. He's about 10 metres to the left of these swimmers as they approach the first state marker.
And very much looks like it will be Stephen Kent, Killer Kai Hurst there in the pink cap, and Kane Radford, you've seen he's taken a terrible line, he's already on the back foot, and he probably in pure speed may have had a narrow lead here, but because he's taken the wrong line, he's opened the door, so around that first can, it is Kent.
And then there is Radford in the yellow cap, Kai Hurst in the pink cap just alongside him. And we take a look at the elite marshals watching alongside this elite field, make sure they're rounding all the markers. And in this early stage of the race, that we want to settle into a good pace and figure out who's around them.
First look at Dylan Dunlop Barrett. He won this race in 2011. He is an Olympian now. It's the first time we've seen him in the series, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of form he is in, coming off the back of the National Open Water Swimming Championships. And just alongside of him, making his presence known, is Kai Hurst, and out to Kai's right-hand side. And that blue cat is Stephen Kent, and it looks like Stephen maybe has just shut it down, come back down one gear because it looks a little bit more level.
Well, these are really the wild cards, Dylan Dunlop Barrett and Stephen Kent. They cannot win the series. This is the only swim they've done this season, but certainly keeping the pace hot in this initial stages of the State King of the Bays. This is Philip Ryan in the silver cap. He wears the sleeveless wetsuit and really starting to come up. So what magic shots we've got at the moment. 6 swimmers right in line with each other around about 500 metres into the race.
Well, remarkable. All of these athletes really are starting to understand now the different dynamics that are required in open water swimming versus what we see in the pool, and very rarely do we see a race that looks like a 400 metre Olympic final with 5 swimmers next to each other. Put the lane ropes in, I'll tell you what, you'd think you are at the National Championships. Now understand too, Scott, Melissa Gorman, very much the number 1 seed, not the series leader, we understand is just tucked in the back of these guys as well, so that's a great start for her.
Yeah, she's doing very well. Also saw the orange cap of Josh Richardson, so wow, what a race. I mean, there's so much riding on this. They know they have to do something extra special to win the State King of the Bays, and I think we're seeing a lot of swimmers, you know, do something slightly different to their normal race plan today.
Well, it looks like just out to the left there, taking a slightly different line to the rest of the field here, is Philip Ryan in the silver cap, and Melissa Gorman, by the looks of it, sitting right on his feet.
Wow, this is amazing. So Melissa Gorman, she's had some fantastic swims this season, winning, well, just 3 or 4 seconds behind the men's winners in Akaroa, and this time really trying to hang on to the back of the feet of these men.
Well, Cara Baker, Charlotte Webby, nowhere to be seen at the moment. Outstanding swimmer, Melissa Gorman. Remarkable record, 27 years of age, 4 Australian 10K open water titles to her name, and the world champion from 2009. And I tell you what, she's an absolute angel to deal with off the water too, showing that she is in fact the consummate professional. So Scott, somewhat surprised perhaps we're not seeing the swimmers maybe just go a little bit closer to the shoreline, knowing that the tide is going out?
Well, the 6 orange marker boys keep them away from any danger around the rocks, so they head around Black Rock Corner on the Auckland's North Shore here as they pass another one of the state markers. This is Stephen Kent in the number 6 cap, still leading this race with his pool compatriot Dylan Dunlop Barrett. Unlucky these two to not make the World Championships team after their great performances last year, 212, making the London Olympics. So these guys leading the race at the moment, they're doing very, very well.
Well, Stephen Kent, Dylan Dunlop Barrett setting the pace as we approach the halfway mark of the State King of the Bays. But earlier on this morning, there were a number of famous faces preparing for this event. Olympian Dean Kent, newsreader Nadine Chalmers-Ross, and former All Black Ian Jones.
This is Flynn. This is my 13-year-old boy who's been trash talking me for the last 2 or 3 months. I'm sick to death of it.
Yeah. You wearing a wetsuit?
So I'm not sure I'll put the glide on that good. Might miss the odd spot. This is my backyard. I live on Milford Beach, so I sort of know the water, feel the water, but once again, just the camaraderie, people doing it, and it's the same people doing it all the time, which is even better. And you normally finish around about the same as all the other has-beens.
Now, you swam with your son at Pai here. You swam together. I understand it's going to be a little different today.
No holes barred today, man. He has been trash-talking me for the last 2 months. I am sick to death of this 13-year-old kid who thinks he can beat his dad. Unfortunately, I think he can beat his dad, but I'm not going to give him that honour, I hope.